right, so Corey, so how valuable is a coach to a player?
I think a coach is very valuable to a player. You see it time and time after again where players aren't given an opportunity in one situation or aren't used well in a certain situation. They go somewhere else and they really blossom. And it's not. I mean, granted, that can also be part of the responsibility of management as well. But a coach really instills confidence in a player to go out and go do certain things, allowing them to play a certain way, allowing them to take certain shots, and really is the person who's one of the most people in charge of how their career pans out and how much they develop as well. What's your thought on it?
Yeah, I mean, a coach is really your molder, man. Especially, I think the most delicate time is when you first starting out in your career, because it's how you gonna attack the game. What is gonna be? What is your mindset? You know, who would have known? Who knows what Kobe or Michael Jordan, those the likes of those guys, what they would have been without a Phil Jackson or a coach to mold them to who they are, or a Tim Duncan or Tony Parker. Who knows if they had like maybe a mediocre coach, how their career is gonna turn out. I really think so. I really think your coach is important and valuable because he molds you, to take certain steps in your career and in your path. It just really gives you the blueprint and the template of how you attack your game and how you play.
Right. Yeah. I think like Kobe and MJ. I think as far as their skill set and how good they were, I think that's a lot of their ability and like hard work and athleticism and their skill level. But I think what Phil Jackson was good at was I think his offense was perfect for them to be very successful. While you may put them somewhere else and the offense kind of doesn't fit their playing style, and things of that nature. But because when you look at it, an example I'll give, even though they kind of were playing inconsistently this past season, was Westbrook. Like when you look at Westbrook playing on the Rockets versus Thunder, like on the Thunder, obviously he was a really good player, but he looked better on the Rockets because he was in a position of having shooters around him where it opens up the spacing. While with the Thunder, it's like it's him, and then you had PG at one point, and you had KD at one point, and then it's like outside of that, you don't have many shooters, so then it clogs up the paint, clogs up everything. So kind of, depending on the type of players that the coach, that management put around a certain player, and depending on the type of offense, is very, very important to a player's success. And a lot of times you have coaches who kind of take the confidence out of a player. When I think of, his name was Harold Miner. He played at USC. He got drafted. He was in the NBA for a little bit, and then he kind of just disappeared. And when he was at USC, they were calling him Baby Jordan. And when he came into the league, like he kind of just fell off. And I remember he had stated that a coach, when he got to the NBA, I think he was on like the Heat, a couple other teams, he said one of the coaches like had ruined his confidence in the way he played, and he kind of just fell off. And it's like a lot of times people think that a lot of these superstars is just that they're so good and that's it, and that they just have confidence. That's part of it, but a lot of it is because they know when they do certain things, they're not coming out the game. They can make mistakes. But, even in my experience playing, like, I've had coaches that tell me, oh, Corey, when you go in the game, if you turn the ball over, you're coming out.
Yeah,
So
that
it's
can
like,
kill your confidence. It really
so
can.
it's like, because then you look at it, you're kind of like, well, even if you believe in me, you realize the best players are going to turn the ball over at some point, right? You
Right.
got to make a mistake. So,
Yeah.
like, that's how you get better. So a lot of coaches don't understand that, but like the best championship level coaches, they know what it takes. And I think there's one thing about being strict and a thing about being mean. I think a coach like Popovich, he seems like a very stern, strict guy, but I don't feel like he'll ever tell somebody, oh, you're not good, or you're not good enough to play for me. Nah, like he's just stern and gonna be that way, but he's not mean. There's a difference with that. So that's what I think about coaches.
Yeah, it's a fine line, man, between the two. Like good coaches or great coaches say the least. They know they have that balance of being a personable guy, being a friendly person, but also somebody who is not gonna deviate from their disciplines and their morals and what has got them to where they need to be. You know.
Right, right,
So I mean, Popovich, Phil Jackson, right out the list goes on. They're epitomes of those disciplines of honoring those disciplines.
right. And you also have, granted, I'm not saying somebody shouldn't practice, but you had things with AI where AI is saying practice, and I've heard a lot of coaches saying, "Oh, practice is where you show up and show what you can do to earn your playing time." But you got people who in practice who kill because they practice players. They know that nothing matters, and they get in the game, and it's not the same thing. So, like, I think that's another um, attribute that a coach can have to realize, like, the difference between, oh, well, you have to just do well in practice and all of a sudden you should get all the playing time. No, it doesn't work like that. You should know who's going to really show up.
Coaching is a very underrated thing, man. Coaching can make a huge difference on the team.
Yeah.
Huge difference. Very underrated because before even the best player, the coach is in the front line. So whatever the coach is doing, it's gonna reflect on the play and how the
Hmm.
team is playing. Whether
Right.
they're losing or they're winning. And at some point, the good coach always gets his guys to win. That's the major thing. It's about winning. You see, even the best player, you say, oh, they would have still been good, but would they have been winning?
Yeah.
That's the
True.
major thing. Because if you ain't winning, ain't nobody really gonna talk about you like that. You'll be the best player that never won. You know. So that's why you see a lot of these guys moving around the league because they understand, like, I can be this top five guy, but if I don't win, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
So guys are gonna do what they gotta do to win, to get that Larry O'Brien trophy.
Yeah.
You may agree or disagree with it, but
I
they're gonna do it.
mean, yeah, it depends. For me, it depends, like, how you make that decision, where you're gonna move to what team. But yeah, winning definitely plays a huge part in a player's success, and you definitely want to have the right coach that's going to put you and your team in the best position to get there. So you're not just playing like you playing in some adult league or 24-hour fitness where you don't really care that much or as much.
So you got anything else, boss?
Nah, that's it for this segment. Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe, like, comment, please. Let us know what you think of the segment. Let us know if you agree or disagree on whatever points. You got anything?
Yeah, that'll be it for me, man. Like, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in today. See you on the next one.
Deuces.
Peace.